Hello, everybody. My name is Sarah, Weight Watcher, Cape Cod Woman, and Pearls of Wisdom and Food on Facebook. How are you today? So I was walking today and I got a couple of topics. And I think I'm going to co-mix them. A couple of you went on a little food binge the other night. And you both told on yourself, but only because one generated the first telling on myself and then the other one said, because you did, I am. And I want to talk to you about premeditated food binges, especially if you've gone sugar-free and or wheat-free and what you dove into were those things. I'm asking you to do some research on re-exposure to those things and how it's a setback. If you were in Alcoholics Anonymous and you had just a silly little wine cooler at a friend's dinner, it would be a relapse and the clock starts ticking again. And the re-exposure to wheat or sugar has more ramifications, and it may cause a lot of things to happen to your body that may or may not have happened before, but just reintroducing it. Gluten is such a serious thing for a lot of us, especially here. And people like me tested that for, 50, 60 years just to make sure, really? Me? Wheat? You sure? Yeah. Or like yesterday, me at the dentist, when the dentist says, boy, you've sure had a lot of dental work. Yeah, do you think it was me on the playground eating Bonomo taffy? Not one bar, but like 9 of them? No, nothing to do with that. Or the sugar daddies, do you remember those? Oh yeah, yanking off one of those and just having it and brushing teeth after eating sugar. What's that about? I'll wash it all down with a Coke. So, yeah, when he said I have a lot of dental work, it's like, yeah. So one of the things is re-exposure, no matter what it is that you think you've given up, and that because you've been clean for a while and you're feeling so good, that's this playing on you, saying you're feeling so good now, maybe you can go back and have it. I hear it all the time in AA. I was feeling so good, I figured I could have just one. Wasn't going to hurt me. It's not like it's an addiction. Well, guess what? It is. At least for people like me. Food addicts foodie with an addiction through and through. Now, foodie sounds kind of like fun, light, reading recipes, trying them out. I'm just a foodie. But an addiction is raw, it's ugly, and if you got it, it's all yours, and you have to learn how to handle it and what works and what doesn't. And today I was listening to Dave Asprey and Abel James. You talk about my two favorite men having a little dialogue about finding what's right for you. And the premise of this initially was the paleo diet and how it's taken on a life of its own, and it really isn't what it started out being. And Abel James is a person, he has alcohol, but if I eliminated the alcohol from what he says he eats, that's me. I have one fruit a day because of Dave Asprey's bulletproof roadmap, and that is the berries for lunch and the organic berries, and that's the only fruit I have after eating 5 to 7 every single day. I have dairy in limited amounts, and I also have protein in limited amounts, and both of that. So that's what Abel has, and then Dave, as you know, has limited protein, no dairy, no grains, and then his one fruit. And the high starchy things, probably Dave doesn't have. I didn't listen to it all the way because I got back home. But anyway, so a couple of you have done the almost premeditated binge. And by premeditated, it could be as simple as having it in the house. by you having it in the house, be it Halloween candy, now today is Halloween, so it could be for tonight, Halloween candy, or Klondikes, because when your son comes over, he likes them, and so you want to please him. But, oh, P.S., I'm also addicted to them, but I'll just have them here. Now, I don't think the son is swinging by just for a Klondike. You know what I'm saying? This isn't directed at you, whoever it was that, had some naughty things. The point is that you think it's just there and that you can handle it. Trust me, it's premeditated. If I bought a box of Honey Nut Cheerios and just had them, it's almost premeditated. It puts the bee in my bonnet, right? First of all, it's a visual if you're looking at it, because I have open pantry shelves. And then, it kind of weighs on you. It's like, well, I've got it. Well, maybe I could do it. Maybe just not the whole serving. Maybe just a half a cup. Maybe a third of a cup. Maybe just some in a bag, right? And so you go ahead and do it. Now, from what I gathered from one of the admissions of the food binge, and thank God it did. I hope it didn't carry into the next day for anybody that goes on a little binge. Not a little binge, that goes on a binge. It's serious. It's not little and cute. I hope it doesn't carry over into the next day for somebody like me with my food addiction. 2 days in a row has my addiction fanning, screaming, wanting to be fed. One day, one treat. The next day I am emotionally hungover. And who knows what my body's going through. The part about it is sometimes we have a little cheat or treat or whatever you want to call it. But don't cute it up with little or small portion, or I thought I'd be okay, or they just talked to me all day and so I thought if I just had one and then hid them, whatever it is, until you come forward with it and admit it. Wouldn't you want to admit it to my Facebook page or YouTube or somebody that you're trusted to be with that understands food addiction, food plan, the head connection, the emotional connection? Wouldn't you want somebody to know? Isn't it important to tell on yourself? So what I call not telling anybody about your slip, your relapse, your binge, your whatever, is it's called a sin of omission. And when you have a sin of omission, it's doing something that, might not show up on your tracker, might not be told to anybody, might be just your guilty little dirty secret. You're not going to do it again. You make all these little promises right up here. Well, the purpose of sites like mine are for you to come clean in an audience that understands, and they will not judge, they will not punish. Okay? But sins of omission are what got you to why you're here. Hopefully, right? Kind of going lying along and not really having anybody to talk to about this and feeling like a very, very not normal earth person because nobody else is worried about it. Other people can stop when they're full. Other people can push away a plate with stuff on it. Are you kidding me? Who are these not normal people? It's like the same people that have one glass of wine out at dinner and don't have more, in my other addiction. So when it comes time to getting honest with yourself, you really, really, really need to be honest. And then you need to pay attention. That's what Dave and Abel were talking about on the podcast that I listened to today. It's becoming aware of how things work for you. Dave would no sooner have a full-fat, plain Greek yogurt than, Abel would have whatever his, what he can't go near item of food. And so we learn what our body can tolerate. For some of us, we can tolerate dairy. They say that the grass-fed butter isn't considered dairy. Most people can tolerate it if you were to switch to the bulletproof coffee. Some people can't do intermittent fasting. Some people have to eat as soon as they get up. Some people would no sooner dream of doing coconut oil and high-fat, low-carb diet. You know, for some of you, it's still doing the standard American diet, which is also called SAD, by having, you know, some of the things that your body may be allergic to. If your body is craving Ritz crackers, and so you still allow things like that, and so you pack 6 in your lunch and you track them with your Weight Watchers tracker or your MyFitnessPal or your Spark People or your Lose It, and you track them and you feel, well, I'm counting the points, I'm counting the calories, so it's safe, right? Well, your body could be setting you up for more. You don't know you're allergic to wheat until you give it up. And then if you're lucky, you will learn that you were indeed allergic to it because it consumed every minute of your day. I am not as consumed with food items as I was before, now that I'm on the high-fat, low-carb. I'm satiated. My head is satiated. So you don't know. And then when somebody talks about re-exposing them, say they gave up wheat and processed foods and all of the chemicals that are in Ritz crackers that we don't pay attention to because that buttery, salty top, oh my goodness. If there ever was a binge food that had Sarah's name on it, Ritz crackers or Waverly wafers, even more buttery, right? So you give up these things, you go a while, you feel great. Why can't I have a couple of pieces of cheese on a Ritz at this party? It's not like I'm having, you know, this huge layer cake dessert, or it's not like I'm having this huge plate of pasta. I'm just having 2 Ritz crackers with cheese on them. I mean, isn't that a better bad choice? Well, maybe for some, but it's a re-exposure if you've been on something that is a blank-free program. Sugar-free, processed foods-free, wheat-free, just gluten-free, dairy-free. You pick your free. Meat-free, who knows? But if you re-expose yourself to it, and it was an addiction, like sugar, like wheat, like other things could be for you, diet soda even the little colored packets that people are addicted to but don't think they're addicted to. If you don't think you're addicted to them, give them up. See how it is. Write down your feelings about it. This part, if you eat something that you don't think you're addicted to and this part takes over in wanting more, lining it up, maybe it's not that bad, maybe I can count the points and it will be okay. You've re-exposed yourself not only to the food item, like the wheat, like the sugar, like the dairy, like the Diet Coke, like the little packets that you put way too much on fruit or yogurt or whatever. And so then the addict, the lights go up in those opiate part of your brain and says, oh, thank you. More, please. And you're off and running. And it's not healthy for you because you have, if you realize, I mean, sometimes we have to do that. Like an addict or an alcoholic has to slip, has to go out and test the waters because they don't believe that they're an addict. Maybe they just drank too much. Maybe they just took too many perk whatevers. Just like we think, well, maybe if I eat wheat in moderation, like drink in moderation, like smoke in moderation. There is no healthy addiction if there's an addiction. You can't control it by moderating it. It reignites your brain if it's a food item and it has an opiate effect on you. You know, it reignites your addiction in your brain. So then you've got 2 things you have to get rid of: physically, emotionally, maybe a little mentally too. And so then you have to do the work surrounding it. And I don't want to quit. I don't want to start smoking again. But you don't have to tell me it's addictive. You know, I quit 45 years ago, but I know it's addictive today because I watch people, I listen to people, I do intakes on new clients that are addicts and all chain smoke, even pregnant. It's the hardest thing I have to look at is to see a pregnant woman chain smoke. None of them have any intention whatsoever of giving it up. They don't even want to try. And we got some bad news coming for 6 pregnant women, all due in the next 2 months at our hospital. There is a no smoking policy. So it's going to be rough going. They offer the patch, but that's it. So, you know, you only have to be, I mean, maybe I'm lucky. Maybe it's because I've been going to 12-step meetings for addictions all these years that when I switched it over to food, not just food alone, because everything's managed a day at a time. So today, here I am, and we all have to eat, so that makes it tricky, right? So if you don't know if you're addicted to something and you think you can have it in moderation, try it. See what happens. If you thought you could have 1 piece of bread 1 time a day and not be addicted, stop for a week and see how you feel. Write your feelings down. See if the scale moves. Test yourself, because nobody else can do it for you unless you're going to a specialist and an allergist and all that kind of stuff. So that's what this video is about today. Sins of omission, and getting over that you're special and that you can re-expose yourself and it's going to be no big deal. A lot of people say, okay, so you had that yesterday. You had the hot dogs, the French fries, the ice cream soda with it, or the real Coke, or whatever you had when you went to this event or person's house, or you just had to have it. Perhaps you were already exposing yourself back to the thing that you're allergic to, and it just kicked in the next on your addictions of a certain product of food that you are addicted to. Okay, so I had the bowl of cereal, and it was kashi, and it had the equivalent of 6 teaspoons of sugar, and it had 47 carbs total between the wheat and the added sugar and honey and agave or whatever, healthy thing is touted on the front of the box. But look at all the fiber. Oh, look at all the protein. Trust me, get your protein from a piece of cheese, an egg, 2 ounces of ham, whatever. So you have the cereal and you think you're safe, but all of a sudden at lunch, the boss springs for pizza. Well, I'll just have 2 pieces. I won't have the usual 3. Or I'll only have 1 piece, but then the boss breaks out the peanut butter cookies. Well, there's another thing. I'm just going to have it for today. By the time you get home at night, who knows what your addict is telling you it wants, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll just get over this in the day. I'll just get all these carbs, all this sugar, all this wheat. I'll just eat it all today, and then tomorrow I'll go back on track. You're setting yourself up physically and emotionally for all of the hangover. And trust me, it is like a drug hangover. If you overload on your carbs or your wheat or your sugar or all the things that you have been clean on, okay? And then if you don't admit it to anybody, that would be the sin of omission. So I want you to take a moment and really plan on being clean, especially if you've got candy left over, because I don't know if I'm going to post this today or not. If you've got stuff going on, you've got leftovers, you need to be really, really careful, because I think you're here for a reason, right? And it could be just healthy, it could be maintaining, it could be you just need a change, it could be you're open to more healthy, clean eating, you're maybe healthy to high-fat, low-carb, you're open to the different opinions that you hear here. You know nothing about the nutrition part. You lost the weight in a certain program, but now it's like, well, I don't know. I want to clean up the part. I don't want to have chemicals. I don't want to have additives. I don't want to have, meat that isn't grass-fed. Well, Sarah talks about this stuff all the time. Maybe I should listen. I want to go organic, but I don't know which ones I'm supposed to choose from because I only have so much money for food. What's important? Am I having too much even of the good things? So that's why we're here. And the sins of omission are talking to a non-judgmental group of us and telling us, because you know what? We learned from you too. So we can be just as selfish with your slip as while you're having all your horrible feelings and emotional hangover, we're benefiting from that. It's like, thanks for doing the work for me. Because I too was thinking of that pizza at work because I know the work schedule and I know it's going to be so-and-so's birthday and that's their favorite. And so I just might forget to bring that salad on the counter when I leave the house. And you know you're kidding yourself because you never even made the salad. And you're going to go in and you think you're going to eat in moderation. Really. Take care of yourself. Is that pizza worth it? And I don't know what skinny movie star or whatever said, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. They're right. They are. But you don't have to learn that the day after you've eaten it. You can put it inside of you today before you take that bite that leads you on a trail where you don't know where it's going to end up. And kicking off tonight on Halloween is the season of food. And you need to get a grip now, just like when I was in Macy's yesterday buying all these wedding dresses to bring home to try on, not wedding for me, wedding for Greg's niece. I got 3 different numbers that I may show here. I may have Greg take a picture of each one. One's edgy, one's practical. I can wear it again, which is always something an old broad like me thinks of. And the other one is just kind of cute. And it's all 3 are nice name brands. All 3 are the sizes I never dreamed I'd be in. And all 3 fit. So, but I got to pick one. And so I'm going for his opinion too. So anyway, the woman in the shoe section, as I was buying the edgy shoes, said said that she's doing the 21-day fix, and she gave all the reasons why. And I said, good for you, you know. I love those colored containers. I'd be a sucker for them too. And including the cookbook, it's all going to be under $100 for her. So she's looking forward to that. And she's calling her live-in boyfriend her coach. They're going to go to the gym together. And he needs to gain and she needs to lose. What a perfect relationship. So anyway, I better sign off because it's 21 minutes and I need to go to my 12-step meeting. Hope you have a grand day. Hope you understand sins of omission. I hope you understand that anything that you put in your mouth that your body hasn't had for a while is going to cause a hangover physically and emotionally. And it's called a re-exposure. And it could have more damaging effects than you sign on for with that one little thing. Great being here. Thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.